Hey folks, welcome to the first video on this channel. Today we're going to talk about youth training, specifically for athletes aged 14 to 15 years old. We're going to talk about what strength training means for these athletes, what should it look like, what it shouldn't look like, and we'll go through a sample day. Let's get to it. So one common myth out there you might have heard about strength training for youth athletes is that it could stunt your growth. That is not something you should be worried about. Properly dosed strength training will help you gain more control over your body, especially as that body grows. When you're a teenager, your body is going to grow from year to year. Your leverages are going to change. Sometimes if you go through quick growth spurts, your body might feel awkward in sport. Strength training is only going to help you have more control over your body and have more strength in positions that you are likely to get into in sport. One other thing to avoid is looking at what your favorite athletes are doing at the professional level. So a lot of parents, when they get their kids into strength sports or strength training, they go look at what maybe Christian McCaffrey's doing in the gym, what LeBron James doing in the gym. Your kid is not one of those athletes. If you're looking at these athletes, you probably should look at what they were doing when they were in high school, when they were at that age that your kid is at, not what they're doing right now. Considerations for a professional athlete who is getting paid to play their sport are very different from a kid who is developing. With that said, let's get on to benefits of strength training for youth athletes. First benefit, improved coordination and improved function of the neuromuscular system. What does that mean? Strength training is a skill. Like any other sport you do, whether you're learning to bat, whether you're learning to dunk, whether you're learning to kick a ball, these are all skills. In the gym, same thing. If you're a youth athlete starting your strength training journey, you will be learning new skills. Those new skills improve your ability to coordinate. They improve the function of your neuromuscular system, meaning your body can communicate better with your muscles to perform actions. The second point is you should try to use those years to build a very solid foundation so that in your later teen years, you can use that foundation and just explode up your strength gains. If you go into the ages of 16, 17, with a really good technical foundation, so you already know how to squat, you've been squatting with a barbell for a few months, maybe a year, you've been benching with a barbell for a few months, your hip hinge technique is really good, you're very solid on a single leg, chances are now you can take those formative years of 16, 17, 18 and become really strong, become really powerful, and take that performance to the sport field. Okay, so let's go over a sample training day. You'll get to the gym, you'll start with some form of jumping, sprinting, bounding, change of direction. Don't make it fancy here, keep it simple and work on mastering those basics over time. Get really good at doing the basics, and over time you can add small minor variations to it so you can learn new skills and keep it exciting. Then we'll move on to a squat pattern. So you'll start with a dumbbell goblet squat, that's your first step. After a few weeks of that, you can move on to a front squat with a bar. And then a few weeks or months of that, you can move on to a barbell back squat. And the back squat is an exercise that will most likely stick with you for the rest of your training career. Then we'll move on to a hinge pattern. So this will be a dumbbell or a kettlebell RDL to start with. This could be technically challenging. So the main goal is to master the hip hinge technique first before adding any serious weight. Then we'll move on to a push pattern. So push-ups are a great start, even if you've been doing them for a long time. Keep getting stronger at push-ups, and then eventually you can move on to a dumbbell press or a bench press. After that, we'll go into a pull or a row. So this could be a bent over row with dumbbells. It could be a symmetric stance dumbbell row. It could be a split stance dumbbell row. Any sort of rowing, even if it's a cable or a machine, is going to be great for your back. You need a strong back for pretty much any sport you do, any activity you do. And last thing we'll finish with here is some form of core training. This could be anything from loaded carries to a band powerlift press. It could be a plank variation. It could be a ab wheel type training, hanging knee raises. Any type of core work you do is going to pay dividends when it comes to your big lifts, like your squats, your deadlifts, your power cleans. So do not skip on core work. Just keep including them in at least twice per week in your training. That's all I have for this video. If you're someone who is 14 or 15 years old just starting out in the gym, or you're someone that works with youth athletes in this age category and you would like to see a 2 or 3 day sample routine, please let me know and I will post that in a different video. Thanks for watching.